deep breaths. I've got toes together, knees wide. Just relax the arms to the front. Let the chest and the head drop onto the mat. And come forwards onto all fours. Let's do a little bit on the wrists, just to get this out of the way. Forwards, backwards first. Fingertips are pointing to the front, spreading them. Middle fingers are pointing to the front of the mat. And I start circling into it. I'm going to take big circles. So I'm including the hips, that big movement. Maybe about 2 to 3 circles one way. And change direction, or just keep changing directions. Try and keep those elbows straight. And I'm turning the fingertips outwards once you've done the circles. Pushing shoulders side to side. One by one, I'm turning the fingertips towards the midline, pressing the back of the wrist onto the mat with straight elbows if possible. So one at a time. Gently stretching the back of the wrists. Very carefully, still putting plenty of weight into the other wrist. Just going to do one more each way. Once you've done the last one, walk the hands forwards into puppy, keeping hips above the knees, tucking the toes under. And once you've walked forward, start dropping the armpits to the mat. We're not going to be here for too long. I just want you to start feeling the stretch in the front of your shoulders. You don't even have to drop all the way down, just start feeling the stretch. And then suck the belly button in and tuck your tailbone gently. So you're not putting any pressure on your lower back. You can drop the head onto the mat. Some of you might be a bit more bendy in the shoulders, a bit more flexible. By all means, drop the chest, the sternum towards the mat, and maybe put your chin onto the mat. But if you're not quite there, stay with me. I'm tucking the tailbone, and I'm just dropping the head and the armpit. My arms are still straight. There is a little bit of work going on in the chest muscles. And then hold it for one more breath. And drop your elbows onto the mat and come forwards into swings. So drop the hips down as well onto the tools. And I'm going to put the feet a lot wider than my mat because I want plenty of space for my tailbone. And then just hold your cobra now lying the swings for a few breaths. Open the collarbone. So you start stretching the front of your body, your glute, quads. Your stomach, I'm so sorry. And push the arms out to the side. Bring the arms out into Y, onto the fingertips, and make sure you start the movement from the shoulder blades as you lift. Inhale, lift up nice and high, and then drop the head back in the end of the movement. Exhale, come down. Most of the weight is in the arms, but I'm pressing the feet into the mat, and it should be fairly comfortable on your lower back. Inhale as you come up. Exhale all the way onto the mat. One more time. It should feel nice on the back. You might feel some clicking, and that is okay if it doesn't hurt. And come back then after the last one. Bring the hands under the shoulders. Bring the feet back into hip distance, and just push back into child's pose. This time the knees are hip distance. Tug the toes, and then round your back. Start finding your downward dog. Pedaling, movement side to side, anything you need. Long neck, any tension there? Shrug the shoulder blades to the lower back. deep breaths, spreading fingertips. I'm going to move the feet together and the knees, bending both knees, lifting the heels high, and then dropping the heels a bit closer to the mat, still bending knees, pushing chest through. Again, lifting heels, and then dropping heels. Don't worry about keeping the knees straight. I'm keeping them bent. But the arms are straight. Inhale as you lift, exhale as you drop a bit closer. Don't worry if you can't touch down. Just starting to lengthen the calves. One more. And then drop the knees onto the mat. Untuck the toes and sit your bum onto your heels. Lift up. Take a big inhale. And exhale, hands to heart center. I'm going to grab the strap. If you have a towel or anything, stretchy band is good, but just opening the front of the shoulders. My hands are a little bit wider than my shoulders. Roll the shoulders back and just start going up overhead like your pie passovers, and then come back. I'm not going all the way around just yet. Inhale, lift, pull into that strap or bend, and exhale, come back. You might want to widen it because we are going to start going around. Once you're overhead, shrug the shoulders down, make sure your arms are straight, and then try and come all the way around. It might not happen just yet. If not, just come back to the front again and start. With a big inhale, maybe wider arms. Do about 2 to 3, maybe 4. But make sure your shoulders are staying away from the ears. There is no tension on your neck. You feel the front of your shoulders. And your arms are staying straight. Use that breath. I'm going to shorten that strap or the distance between my hands for the last one. And please be careful as you come around. Feeling the stretch, taking my time with it. I'm very safe in the joints. And once you've done the last one, you can drop the strap down next to you. We'll come back to that. And then big inhale, reach up. Do a little cactus with the arms. Open the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades. And then interlace the fingers in the front as you're rounding your back the other way. Drop the chin to the chest. And then we're going to do it again. Reach up, big inhale, open up into your cactus. And exhale, round the back the other way. So feel that your spine is going from C curve to C curve. Inhale, reach up. And use the back muscles to squeeze the shoulder blades together in the back. Exhale, open. Reach up, do that one more time. Inhale into the cactus, really squeeze in the back. And exhale as you open. Release the hands onto the mat. Come back onto all fours. And we are going to do a spinal twist and thread the needle. Left arm up. Make sure the hips are staying above the knees. Inhale. And exhale, thread the needle underneath your right armpit. And go all the way onto the left shoulder. Maybe the left ear touches down. Let's do that twice more. Inhale, reach up. Still the same side. Really open up. Stack the shoulders on top of each other if you can. Exhale, thread the needle. Go as far as it goes, even if it doesn't quite go all the way onto the left shoulder. One more time. Right arm is straight. Hips are above the knees. Big inhale. And exhale, thread the needle. Let's just hold it here. Try and put the shoulder all the way onto the mat, left ear onto the mat. Stay here, reach the right fingertips to the front of the mat. And just hold. If you want a little bit more challenge with your balance, then reach the right fingertip, foot to the back. And then maybe lift your right heel higher than your right hip. You're going to work on your right glute as well. It's a lot of balance, so press the left fingertips onto the mat. Bring the right knee down. Bring the right hand back under your shoulder, and then push back onto all fours. Restack everything slowly. Make sure your knees are hip distance, and let's start on the other side. Right arm up, long opening, big opening like a door. Inhale as you go up, exhale as you thread the needle. Again, take it slowly with the first couple of them. Maybe write here down already, or just wait for it. We've got a couple more. Straight left arm as you reach up, hips above the knees. Try not to sit towards your heels. And then thread the needle. Feel the work in your back as you reach up for the last one. Feel your core muscles, back of your shoulders trying to do the twist with straight arms. And then thread the needle. Stay there this time. Long right arm. Press the right fingertips, the back of your fingertips onto the mat. If you want, reach the left fingertips to the front of the mat. And then when you're ready, start sticking the left leg back. Finding that balance, maybe lifting your left heel higher than your left glute. If it's not quite there, don't worry about it. It's easy to fall over here, so please be careful. Bring the left knee down slowly. Bring the left hand underneath your left shoulder. And then push back onto all fours. Reach both fingertips forwards and find your downward dog again. Tug the toes. Again, rounding the back. Once you've paddled a few more times, if you need to find a static stretch. And let's see the ripples here. Inhale, lift the heels, tug the tailbone, come forwards into your high plank. Exhale, drop the knees and hips. Inhale, open up into your cobra so you get that stretch in the front of your shoulders. Drop the head back. Exhale, chin down to chest, draw in your belly button and find your downward dog, even if you need to go through your child's pose. And then straight away, lift the heels. Inhale, coming forwards into your high plank. Drop the hips. Exhale. Inhale, open into cobra. Exhale, round the back as you start sitting back into your downward dog. Go in your own time and make sure you take your time with the downward dog to stretch the chest. And let's go again. We've got 3 more of these. Next time my knees and hips are on the mat, I'm going to untug the toes. So I can take my thighs off into an upward dog, squeeze the glutes, and make sure you're still tucking the belly button in before you go into your downward dog. You can keep the toes untucked or tuck under, twice more. Make sure you round the back, tug the pelvis. Big inhale, high plank. Exhale, cobra or upward dog. Inhale as you open a little bit further. Exhale, sit back. Please be careful with the back. If having the toes untucked hurts your back, make sure you sit back into child's pose first. Round the back as you come forwards, high plank. Drop the hips, exhale. Inhale, cobra, upward dog. And exhale, find that downward dog, hold. I'm going to untug the toes. And then hold it for 1 more breath. Step or hop to the front of the mat. I'm going to stay with stepping once you're there, feet hip distance. 1 halfway lift, big inhale. And exhale, fold. Give it a gentle stretch in the back of your thighs. And then come up slowly, rounding the back. Inhale on the top, long reach, long stretch, exhale, hands to heart center. We are still playing with the shapes of your spine, so release the hands. Reach up as you breathe in. Do another cactus like you were doing it on your knees. Still inhaling here. Exhale, forward fold, bend the knees. Gently stretch the hamstrings. We're going to do a halfway lift, but spread your arms like wings. Inhale, open the back, the palms are pointing down. Exhale, fold again. Now you can stretch the hamstrings. We're going to do that a few times. Come into a standing position, round your back here. Feel that you're sucking belly button in. Reach up on the top, inhale, and straight into that cactus. Open the chest, bend the knees here. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, don't worry too much about those hamstrings just now. Inhale, halfway, spread the wings. Push the chest towards the mat. Flat back if you can. Exhale, forward fold. Round the back as you come up. Inhale on the top. Reach up first and then open up into your cobra. Bend those knees. Exhale, forward, forward. So feel those shapes in your spine. Gentle stretching the hamstrings. Inhale, halfway, spread the wings. Exhale, forward. One more time. Come up, really round the back. Feel that your lower back is stretching as you come up. Inhale, reach up. Cactus, bending the knees here to protect your back. Exhale, forward, forward. Inhale, halfway, spread the wings. Exhale, forward. Let's just hold it here, bend those knees. Now you have the option to keep the hands wherever you need to. Otherwise, I'm going to do another halfway lift. Interlace the fingers above my hips. And I start lifting the hands off of the hips. Drop the chest, head, still bending the knees very generously and dropping the little fingers to the mat. If at any point that becomes too much, don't worry, just release them. Just drop the hands onto the shins. Bit of side to side movement. I'm bending the left knee as I'm trying to touch the left shoulder to the left knee, whilst I'm looking over to my right, dropping the knuckles to my left. And then back to center, generous bending that right knee, and maybe trying to touch the right shoulder to the right knee. Try your best to keep those arms straight if it's there. And again, let's do a few more side to side. If you really want to stretch into the shoulders as well, keep the arms straight. If not, just drop them on your hips. And take your time. Use a whole breath to come over to the side. Maybe use an extra breath to hold it there. I'm going to do one more each way, but slowly. Just keep looking over to one side. So you might feel a bit more in the hamstrings, your IT bend down, your calves, your chest. Once you've done the last one, just release in the middle one more time, but bend the knees. Maybe do another halfway lift as you look forward. Glide your shoulder blades together and drop down. And just hold it for one more breath. Focus on the chest. Don't worry about the hamstrings. And then release the hands onto the shins. Halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale into your high plank. You can step it, jump it, whatever is there. Let's just hold it here. Make sure your hands are shoulder distance, no wider than that. Flatten your back if you can, but tug the pelvis. Feet are hip distance. And then take a big inhale as you look forwards. Go through your chaturanga. I'm going to drop the knees, elbows pointing backwards. Untug the toes. Inhale into cobra. Upward dog if you're ready to take the thighs off. And find your downward dog. Let's just hold it for one more inhale. And really drop the sternum on your exhale. Your next inhale, lift the right leg, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring the right knee to the right elbow. Just hold it here for a breath. Make sure your shoulders are above the wrists or even above the fingertips. Keep your right tippy toes off the mat if you can. Reach back into three-legged dog, big inhale. Exhale, knee to nose this time. And then step through in between the thumbs when you're ready. Come onto the right fingertips, it helps. Hold your runner's lunge. Drop the hips, try and create a straight line between the crown of your head and the left heel. I'm on my fingertips, neck is long, drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Drop the left knee onto the mat, but I'm keeping the left toe tucked under. Put the hands onto the knees, and then lift up, slight back bend here. Inhale, as you look up, you can even drop the head back slightly, try not to hurt your neck. And as you exhale, look forward and start extending the front leg. When I'm staying upright, maybe lift the right toes towards the mat, towards the ceiling, and then give it a forward fold. But I'm doing it with a flat back, so I'm not going too far. Inhale, bend the front knee, back into that slight back bend. Keep bending the front knee, and you should feel the front of your left hip. And again, start straightening the front leg. If you're very unstable, create a bit more distance between the back knee and the front foot. So in between your thighs, there should be a bit more distance, a bit more space. We've got 3 more of these. If your knees are very unhappy, tuck something underneath or pad them up. Now next time I'm bending the front knee. I'm going to reach up, so I'm lengthening. I'm starting to use the back of my shoulders. Try and push the thumbs behind you, but without arching your lower back. Now exhale, keep the biceps around the ears, extend that front leg, level the hips, and do a slight forward fold with a flat back. But I'm keeping the hands off, and now I'm feeling the back of my thighs working. You might want to have a slight bend in the front knee. Let's come forwards again. Inhale, reach up, start that slight back bend. Make sure it's the upper back that's working, not the lower back. And then exhale, keep the fingertips around the ears, the biceps around the ears. Flat back, keep sending the right hip to the back. One more time. Now I'm feeling the work in the hip flexors on the left side and the hamstrings on the right side. One more time. Keep releasing the shoulders away from the ears so there is no tension in the neck. Flat back as you're reaching forwards. And then come back up, bend that front knee. And this time hands to heart center. Relief from the shoulders, roll them back. Twist to your right. And let me see the left elbow on the right thigh. Let's twist. I'm still bending the front knee. Let's just hold it here for a few breaths. Lengthen the spine. If you want the back toes untucked, feel free to do so. One more long breath. Anytime you want, you can open the arms if it's there. Keep the spine long. Bend the front knee again. Hands to heart center. Reach up, inhale, crescent moon. Frame the front foot. And then shoot that right leg back, high plank. One more inhale, and either go into your downward dog, or go through the chaturanga with us. Knees down if you want. Inhale into cobra or upward dog. And push into downward dog. It might feel nice to pedal the heels, because you might feel it in your right hamstrings, but we're not quite done with the right glutes and hamstrings. Drop the knees onto the mat. Bring the hands underneath your shoulders. Once you've got that neutral spine, right leg goes to the back. Make sure your left knee is in line with the left heel of the hand. Flex that right foot and really straighten the right leg. Make sure your right hip is in level with the left hip. Now lift the right heel as high as you can without arching your lower back. For me, that's the maximum. I can't lift it any higher because otherwise I need to help with the lower back, but I don't want to do that. Suck the belly button in and just pump your right heel up to the ceiling. Squeeze the bum for 10, 9. These are slow movements. 8, 7, 6. Keep pulling the belly button into your lower back. 4, 3, 2, and hold it there. Squeeze. Make sure the right toes are pointing down. Now lift the left knee. Bend the left knee and pivot on that left knee. So you're going to come into a start position or side plank. Lift the right fingertips. Keep flexing the right foot. And your right foot now should be pointing out to your right. Lift that right foot as high as your hip. Now turn the right big toe towards the mat. So you feel that your heel is a little bit higher than your right toe. Put the right fingertips around the ears. Right elbow is pointing up to the ceiling. Now lift everything a bit higher. Really straighten out your body. Double check the big toe that is pointing to the mat. Now pump your right heel to the ceiling for 10, as high as you can, little ones. 8, 7, and you start feeling it in your right glute, in your right hip. 5, 4, 3, 2, stay there. If you want, extend your right leg to the back, bend that right knee and grab the right foot from the inside. Press into the right hand gently to open the front of your right shoulder and right hip. Hold it here. And then release back into your star position. Come back onto all fours. Plug the toes, reach the hands forwards. Push up into downward dog. Pedal if you need to or find a stretch. You're going to flush it out with the flow. Inhale, rippling forwards. Exhale, chaturanga. You don't have to do that bit. Inhale as you open up into your cobra upward dog. And exhale, downward dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Focus on the chest. Don't worry about the hamstrings. They will lengthen over time. Long arms. Long neck. Lift the left leg behind you, three-legged dog. Bring the left knee to the left elbow. And just hold it here. Let's take a breath or two here. Try and squeeze that left elbow onto the left knee. Core is working. Breathing. Push the left heel back up, three-legged dog. Big inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. And then slowly step through. You might want to make it a little bit of a wider stance. So if you want to heel to the left foot out towards the left side of the mat. And just hold the runner's lunge. Coming onto fingertips, lengthening spine. I've lost Sophie. Drop the back knee down. I'm keeping the back toes tucked under. You can always untuck them if you want. Hands on the knees, slide back bend. Maybe drop the head back. Keep bending front knee here, so you should start feeling the stretch in the front of your right hip. Keeping the hands on the knees, but little weight on that knee as you start extending left knee. Finding the first hamstring stretch, maybe pointing the left toes up. Keep sending the left hip backwards, right hip forwards. Still long spine, straight spine. Bend the front knee again. Slowly, guys. You don't want any sudden movements. Protect the hamstring. Slide back, bend again. More and more stretching the right hip flexor. And very slowly start extending the left knee. Leveling hips. I'm still not going too far. I'm keeping the straight back. So the left hamstrings are working and stretching at the same time. And the front knee. I'm going to start with the arms reaching up. Begin here. Slide back bend. Exhale, I'm keeping the biceps around the ears. Leveling hips very slowly with the first one. And then find that straight back position. If you need to bend your back, you've gone too far. Come back slowly. So feel the work in the back of your left thigh. Bend the front knee. Make sure you're long first, and the back bend is happening from the top of your shoulders, top of your spine. And then start coming forwards, start extending left knee. Biceps are staying around the ears. Once I've got that straight leg, then I fold from the hips, not the lower back. So I'm still looking forwards. Feel the work from the left hamstrings. Come back up one last time. I'm doing it slowly because I can feel the hamstrings working. I want to be careful with them. Slide back bend. And then start the extension in the front leg. Level the hips. Flat back. Keep it flat, keep it flat. Keep looking forwards. And then come forwards again. Hip flexors, stretch, big inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center and twist to your left. Let's just hold that spinal twist. Long back. Keep pressing that right elbow against the left knee. Keep bending the left knee. One more little push. You can always open your arms if it's there. Make sure you keep that twist. So you're not compromising it. It's not just the shoulders. Bring the hands back to heart center. Reach a crescent moon. Big inhale. And exhale. Step back with that left leg. Find your high plank. Leave out the chaturanga if you want. Otherwise, I'm preparing. Big inhale. Pushing weight forwards. Sink halfway. And then push even more forwards. Flip the feet. Open up into your upward dog. And then sit into your downward dog. Let's just hold it for a breath. But we're still not done with that glute, with that hamstring. Drop the knees onto the mat. Bring the hands underneath your shoulders. Long spine. The heels of your hands, knees are on the same line. Draw the belly button in. Left leg goes back. I'm going to flex the foot first. Leveling hips, straight arms. Lifting the left heel as high as you can without arching your lower back. Get to the point where you're feeling your glutes and your hamstrings working. Left toes are pointing down. And start pumping to the ceiling for 10, 9, 8, 7, straight arms, 6, long neck, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep it up there, hold. Feel the squeeze from the glute, no lower back pain. Pivot on the right knee, come into that start, lift the left fingertips. Flex that left foot, put the left fingertips around the ears so the elbow is pointing up to the ceiling. As you're flexing that left foot, drop the toe, the big toe towards the mat so the heel is higher. Lift everything a little bit higher, your shoulders, your hips, your leg. And then palm the outside edge of your foot to the ceiling for 10, 9, make sure it's nice and high. 7, heel is higher than your big toe. 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it there, lift one more time. And then come back into your star, back into your all four position. And then reach the hands forwards, tug the toes under, find your downward dog. Paddle it out. And let's do a full sun salutation. If you don't want to do that, just sit back on your heels. Wait for us in child's pose. Big inhale, look forwards. Exhale, make your way to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward, forward. Inhale, come up. I'm rounding the back. Reach up on the top. Exhale, hands to heart center. And then open the arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, chaturanga. We take an extra breath. Inhale as you open. And exhale, downward dog. Let's meet here. And then take an extra breath here. Now let's go back into your puppy pose. I'm going to drop the knees, but I'm keeping the toes tucked under. I'm using the roller this time. If you want to stay with the hands on the mat, that's absolutely fine. The roller will help me. So take your time to walk the hands forwards, roll the roller forwards. And I'm putting the wrists on it, trying my best to keep the hips above the knees. So I need to go forwards a bit more. Pushing the chest through, sucking in belly button, tucking tailbone under. That should give you a little bit more space to push your armpit through. Now focus on not pushing your chin through because it's easy to strain your neck. Keep your neck in neutral. We're just doing the puppy pose, okay? So the hips are staying above the knees, tucking tailbone under, and the arms should not be wider than your shoulders. Once you've got to the end of that range of movement, suck the belly button in. And then slowly sit your bum back as you untuck the toes. It should be easier with the roller. You can just roll it back. Leave the roller there, just sit up. I've got the knees hip distance. I'm going to put the left fingertips a little bit behind me to my left. And then reach the right fingertips, right arm over to your left. And do a little bit of this back bend here. Right hand down. This is a dancing camel, you might know some of you. I'm reaching forwards with the left fingertips. Over to the right, and then come around. Now you have the option to have the hand all the way down. And as you come around, lift the hip, but you might not like it in the shoulder. And then see how far you want to open the chest. Maybe reach behind you. I do the same. Start with smaller movement. So reach around in your own time. Take big inhales, big exhales. Some of you might be a bit more mobile in the shoulders. You might want to give it a big back bend here. Please be very careful and maybe reach behind you. If you do the back bend, please make sure you squeeze the glutes as you lift. You squeeze the glutes so you're not dumping into the lower back. And again, just be very careful as you're coming around. You make the movement as big as you want. There's a lot of movement and strength in the glutes, in the knees, in the quads. So please be aware of that. I'm just going to do one more each way. And again, make it smaller if you want. It's up to you. I'm going to do one more. And then once you're back, let's reach the arms forwards again. Now this time I'm going to have a go and put the elbows onto the roller with the puppy pose. So come forwards, round your back first, tug the toes. And as I'm going forwards, I'm going to put the elbows onto the roller. It might take a little while to work out where you want to be. Theoretically, your elbows are still no wider than your shoulders. You might want to walk forwards a bit more. I'm going to put my palms together in a prayer position. And then once you're dropping the chest through, again, suck the belly button in. I'm looking at the mat. You can always look forwards, but please don't strain the back of your neck. If you feel there is tension in your lower back, you might be dropping the belly button too far towards the mat. So suck it in, tug the tailbone, and drop your thumb towards your neck. Now extend the elbow just a little bit, not all the way out, just extend it a little bit, but keep dropping your armpit to the mat. And then drop your thumb towards your neck. So bend the elbow and extend and bend. Do that about 3 times. Whilst you're still sucking in the belly button, keep tucking the toes under. Keep dropping your armpits and sternum through, not the chin and not the belly button. And then find that static stretch wherever that is, wherever you feel that, if you're bending the arm or maybe straightening the arm a bit more, that's where the stretch is in the chest, in your lats. Release out of it if there is too much pain in the shoulders, in the inside of the joint. Hold it for one more breath and then slowly come out of the position. Again, on the roller, it's a little bit easier, so you can sit back. As I'm coming out of the position, I'm going to round the back. And then sit up. You might want to round your back the other way. I'm going to interlace the fingers just like at the beginning. Open the back. And then sit up tall. Let's do an eagle pose with the arms. The right arm is going to go underneath the left elbow. I'm going to try and cross them by the elbow or above the elbow. And then start coming all the way around. Maybe turn the palms in to find a eagle pose. If you're not quite there, just keep that stretching the back of your shoulders. If you manage to put them together, just lift. And then keep pointing your shoulders and your hips forwards as you're bringing the left elbow over to your right. Just pull across to your right, but keep looking forwards. You will turn the shoulder, I'm talking silly, but the hip is pointing forwards. Come back and go the other way. You might not feel that much. Try and lift the elbows a bit higher. And then come back, release. Just for a sec, open the chest and change over. So the right arm goes on top of the left arm. Try and cross above the elbow. Come around however far you manage, maybe palms together. Lift and put both elbows over to your left first. Keep lifting the elbow high, shoulders away from the ears. Back to center and over to your right. Lifting the elbows high. Now we come back and just release it off. Open again, just release the arms by your side. Roll the shoulders back a couple of times. I'm going to put the roller onto one side. We are going to come into wide-legged forward fold, and I will need this in front of me. Just put it to the side, you can move around. Reach the arms forwards, take a big inhale. As you exhale, push up into downward dog. Find that stretch for a sec. Now again, you have the option to stay here, or we are going to flush it out with a sun salutation. On your next inhale, look forward, step or jump to the front of the mat, exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up rounding the back, reach the arms up on the top, and exhale, hands to heart center. And let's do the full sun salutation. Reach up, inhale. Exhale, forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, chaturanga, but I'm going to step it and take it a little bit easier here because we have stretched out your shoulders a lot. Inhale into cobra, upward dog, and exhale, downward dog. Let's hold it for one more inhale, one more exhale. Keep gliding your shoulder blades towards your lower back. Leave the right leg behind you, big inhale. As you exhale, step the right foot on the outside of the right hand. So it's quite a wide stance. And again, like your runner's lunge, but this is the lizard because I've got that right foot on the outside of the right hand. A bit more stretching your hips. I'm going to remove this so you can see what happens. I'm putting left knee onto the mat, untucking the toe. Lifting right toe and coming on the outside edge of the right foot. So my right knee is dropping out to my right. Once you're there and you feel that you're already stretching in the right glute, maybe think about lifting that right arm up to the ceiling, creating a long line between the heels of your hands. Maybe turn behind you, and then maybe point the right fingertips towards your left heel. Just look towards it. And then come back. Big inhale. Exhale, press the heel of your hand against that right knee, gently. It's less of a push, it's more of a turn of the shoulder. You can gently push into that knee. Make sure that left arm is straight. And let's put the right hand in the middle, again, in the inside of the right foot. Keep that right foot on the outside edge. Let's try and put the left elbow on the mat. You might be able to put the right elbow on the mat. If not, don't worry about it. You always have the option to maybe use the roller if you want. See what happens. This is when a yoga block would come really handy if you've got one. But we've got a roller, so I'm happy with that. And slowly come back onto the hands. Bring your right foot flat so the right knee is pointing forwards. And to start with, just bend that left knee and push your left foot to your right. So you're going to come into a modified side angle. My right hand stays down. I'm pressing the right elbow against the right knee and reach the left fingertips to the ceiling. And then the right knee a bit further. So you might already feel the inner thigh stretching. To extend that side angle, as long as you make sure that you're stacking the shoulders on top of each other. Left bicep to ear, so you're reaching the left fingertips towards the front of the mat. Keep dropping the hips down, keep bending the right knee, and just double check that the right knee and the left fingertips are pointing to the front. Rotate your left shoulder, armpit, and ribs to the ceiling. Look under that left shoulder, so I'm getting a nice stretch on my left side of my body as well. And then circle that hand all the way onto the mat, the left hand. And then bring that foot back into the middle. So you're centering everything back to the lizard. You have the option to do exactly the same one more time. Otherwise, I'm lifting the left knee. Guys, I'm almost there. I'm so sorry. I know it's not very nice on the hips, but it's stretching now. I'm lifting left knee and I'm turning the left toes towards the left corner of the mat. And I turn into a side lunge. And this is when you start turning the fingertips and start sitting low. Please be careful on the knees. I've got the right heel flat. Try your best to do that. If it needs to come off, please feel free to do that. If you've got the roller there, you might want to use it. You might want to have the right elbow on the right knee. See where it's more comfortable on your back. If you manage to sit all the way down, please do. Guys, we're almost there. Dom, are you okay? Don't forget, if there's too much on the knee, on the back, just choose the first option. It's a really good inner thigh stretch. Promise we're nearly there. Just for another couple of breaths, let's see if we can keep the right elbow on the inside of the right knee Lift the spine, and maybe the left hand, maybe hands to heart center and press. Now, if you've got that press, let's work on the glute. See if that right knee stays there if you release it. I'm feeling the tingling in the left hamstrings and my right glute because everything is trying to open with the muscles. If not, just press in. Almost there. Fingertips on the mat, push your bum high. Come into wide-legged forward, so it's a nice relief on the right thigh. Bring your feet parallel, and now here's your roller. By all means, put the hands there, and just relax however far you can go. Just turn to the side so you see what happens with the back. So I've got the feet parallel, just hanging down with a fairly round back, which is absolutely fine. Now let's bend the knees enough so that we can flatten the back. Come onto fingertips on the roller, wherever you can find that position on the back. That you're looking forwards, you've got flat back, suck the belly button in. Bend the knees enough. Now I'm going to go into side lunges again. They are a lot lower than the first one. Just side to side, looking forwards, starting to feel that inner thigh stretch. One way, other way. Using the hands. There is a lot of weight in the hands because I don't want to dump into my back. So maybe look forwards, maybe check it out on the screen. Just a few times so you feel a little bit more stretch in the inner thighs. Just a couple more, one more each way. Be careful with the knees. Try not to drop the knees inwards. I'd rather you drop them outwards, but preferably they point the same way where your toes are pointing. And then lift the bum up again, slide bending the knees and fold. Again, drop a bit further than before. You might not need the roller anymore. Tailbone to the ceiling. Crown of the head is gently dropping towards the mat. If your head is already on the mat, bring the feet closer so you can really get that hamstring and inner thigh stretch. Keep the hands on the mat. I'm going to get the roller out of the way. Walk back to your right foot. Frame the front foot. Find a runner's lunge. And now you have the option to go through the floor with the chaturanga with me just in down the dog. Big inhale as you push that right leg back. And exhale chaturanga. Inhale, cobra upward dog, flip the feet. Exhale, downward dog. Pedal the feet because it will feel nice. Find your static stretch. And let's do the other side. When you're ready, lift the left leg behind you, three-legged dog. Step on the outside of your left hand. Lizard. Back leg straight to start with. Finding that long spine. Hip flexors are already a bit more stretched than at the beginning, hopefully. Right knee on the mat, I'm untouching the toes. Lifting left foot, toes. Onto the outside edge of the left foot, dropping the left knee out. Left fingertips are going up. Long reach. Feeling that lovely twist in the back. And maybe start reaching behind you towards your right heel. And then come back. Reach up to the ceiling. And start a gentle push into that left knee. It's a gentle push and more of a twist from the back. I'm still looking behind me, looking over my left shoulder. Let that right hip drop outwards, out towards your right. So you might feel it in your right side as well. Side within the hip flexor. Hand on the mat, I'm still dropping the right knee out to the side. And I think about putting your right elbow into the mat. If not, don't worry, or use the roller just like before and maybe the left elbow into the mat. If you feel you get more out of it by being on the hands, you're more than welcome to do that. Whenever the stretch is for you. Carry on, guys. I just turn around, otherwise I'm turning my back on you. onto the hands. Your left foot is flat. Tuck the right toes, lift the right knee. Turn the left foot, the toes towards the right corner of the room. And just pivot the back. Oh, I'm totally lying. Sorry, guys. Come back into center, into your lizard. And then bend that right knee. I'm so sorry. I need to do that first. And then bring that right foot over to your left. Press that left elbow into the left knee and reach the right arm to the ceiling. Finding that modified side angle. And when you're ready, bicep to ear, but focus on that side body stretch. So the right side is lengthening whilst you're pointing your left knee and the right fingertips towards the back of the mat, the front of the mat. Bend the left knee a bit more of an inner thigh stretch. Rotate your right ribcage to the ceiling, more of a stretch down your right side. And now circle the right hand down. Bring that right foot back to center and lift that back knee. And let's do that side lunge. Turn the left foot, pivot the right heel onto the mat and start sitting down. Taking your time, you've got the roller here if you need it. You can always put your left elbow on the left knee to start with. I like to keep the left heel on the mat, but if it needs to come up, that is absolutely fine. Keep sinking further and further. Watch that your left knee and your left toes are going the same way. Make sure the left elbow stays on the inside of the left knee. And then lift the spine. And then maybe hands to heart center. Keep pressing into that knee. Find that position. Make sure your back is really long. Try and lift your spine. However far up or down you want, lift your spine. That's it. And then if you can, switch on the left glute, switch on your right hamstrings, and then try and remove that left elbow without dropping that left knee in the midline. So there's lots of glutes in the hamstrings and in the lots of work in the hamstrings and glutes. Lovely, come back. Hands on the mat. Finally push the bum up nice and high. Wide-legged forward. Bring the feet parallel. Give it a little halfway lift, so lengthen the spine. Big inhale and exhale, fold. Use that roller if you need to. Now again, flatten the back, bend the knees enough so you feel that really safe lower back. Use the roller if you need to. Let's go side to side, but my hands are staying in the middle. My feet are staying parallel as well. Put plenty of weight into the hands. So it's about sitting over to one heel whilst the knee and the toes are going the same way. More of a dynamic stretch in the hip flexors, inner thighs, hamstrings. Now come back to center. Do another forward fold, and I promise there is only one more thing to do here. Just hang down for a few seconds. By all means, reach behind you if it's there. And just 4 times we are going to sit into a proper, deep side lunge, as deep as you want to keep it. So now this time, once my hands are back in front of me, I'm going to turn the toes out. And only 4 times, working with your breath. Sit as low as you can, keeping the elbow on the inside. You might be able to take it off, take the arms off. And you either push your bum up, hands down, or you keep the hands up, stay low. So do that 4 times, twice each way. Keep the elbow on the inside of that knee. Use that glute to push that knee out. So you're using a lot of strength. You're sitting lower. Make sure your knees and toes are going the same way. You have the hands on the mat if you need to. And once you've done the last one, hands in the middle of the mat, push your bum up high one last time. Maybe bring the feet a bit closer to each other. So you need to challenge it. You need to bend lower. If you want to have a go with your headstand here, please feel free to do that. But we're not going to talk about the headstand now. I think the safest is the forearm stand. Just make sure your elbows are not much wider than your shoulders and you're on the top of your head. If not, stay with me. I'm just stretching. Take about 3 breaths here. Keep lengthening your spine by pushing your tailbone to the ceiling. And then put your hands in front of you. Bend the knees. Walk back to the front again, wherever that is for you. And just step into a high plank. One more chaturanga if you want, or leave it out. Big inhale as you push your weight forwards. Exhale, sink down. Untug the toes. And then lift up into your cobra upward dog. And sit into your downward dog. Pedal if you need to, or find your static stretch. Just one more dolphin here. Drop the knees onto the mat if you need to, and drop both elbows onto the mat. Just push the sternum and the armpit towards the heels, towards the ankles. And just hold it here. Make sure your neck is in neutral, so it's not the chin you're pushing. It's your chest, and you're still sucking in your belly button. And then drop your knees onto the mat. Come forwards onto your front. More stretching your chest. I'm pushing the left fingertips, left arm out, hand in line with the shoulders. Right hand under the right shoulder, bend the right knee. Just roll onto your left side. And land the right toes behind you. Try and rest your left ear on the mat if you can. Make sure your left palm is flat on the mat. You can always reach the right fingertips to the ceiling if it's there. Or maybe press the back of your hands together. So it's not about interlacing the fingertips. It's about bringing the back of your hands closer. So you've got that external rotation in the shoulder. And you're trying to open your pecs, major and minor. If not, just keep that right hand under the right shoulder. See where the stretch is in your left shoulder. And slowly come back. Roll onto your front. Give a breath or two to your left shoulder. Relax in that position to recover. And then bring the left hand underneath your left shoulder. Your right hand goes out. Palm is facing onto the mat. In line with your shoulder, bend the left knee. And then roll onto your right side slowly to start stretching out your right shoulder. Make sure it feels nice, it's not excruciating, so you take it as far as you want. Try and relax your right ear down. Decide what you want to do with your left fingertips. But again, make sure you've got that external rotation. So if you do reach the left fingertips to the ceiling, your palm is pointing to your left as you start pressing the back of your hands together. Don't even think about interlacing, because then you will turn your palm around and you will have an internal rotation in the shoulder. And on that external rotation, just hoping for those snatches, the overhead lunges. So keep pointing your thumb at the crown of your head is good. And slowly come back. Roll onto your front. Again, give time to your right shoulder to recover after that stretch. Try not to push straight away with that arm. Slowly bring the right hand under your right shoulder as well. And instead of a press up, just sit your bum back onto your heels. A little bit less use from the shoulders. Just sit back for a sec. Let's go onto our backs. One goes one way, feet the other way. Find yourself on your back, on your bum. Just a quick boat pause because we all love it. Fingertips to the front, long spine. Scoop the tummy, shoulders away from the ears, and then lift the legs into that position. If you want to go for your straight-legged one, go into your full boat pose and hold it here for 3. Side the belly button in. 2. And slowly roll onto your back. Once you're there, just tuck the knees in. Massage your lower back. Glute stretch, spinal twist, and you're done. The right heel comes across the left thigh. Keep the left foot flat if you want. Just push the right knee away from you or reach for the left thigh. Find that glute stretch. Make sure your head, your shoulders are relaxing onto the mat. Close your eyes and take 5 long breaths. Now out breath. Bring that left thigh closer. Keep pulling. Keep stretching the right glute. And for your spinal twist, I'm gliding the knees together, right thigh on top of the left thigh. Arms out in a T. And I'm bringing both knees over to my right. So my right shin is bringing my left knee across. Look over your left shoulder and feel that your left shoulder blade is staying flat on the mat. If you have a different spinal twist, maybe more comfortable in your lower back or hips, feel free to do that. And then come back. Changing sides, so the left heel comes across your right thigh. Try and flex that left foot to protect the ankle. You either push that knee away from you or reach for the right thigh. Find your stretch. Once your head and shoulders are flat, close your eyes. 5 long breaths. As you exhale, you pull the right thigh in. Release it off. Glide that left thigh on top of the right thigh. Arms out into T. And bring both knees over to your left. So your left shin is pulling your right knee across. Look over your right shoulder. Feel that right shoulder blade flat. You might get a nice stretch on the right shoulder as well. Pecs again. And bring it back to center. Untangle those knees, bring them into your chest one last time. A few circles into the lower back. And then roll onto your side and bring yourselves into a seated position in your own time. Let's just sit up, legs comfy. Rolling the shoulders back a couple of times. Here the shoulder. Feel the lengthening in the neck. And the other way. come back, lift the chin, big inhale. Exhale, chin down, just hold it here so you can feel the back of your neck. Keep dropping the shoulders away from the ears. And then roll your head one way. Gently and slowly. A nice stretch all around. Change direction. And come back to center, lift your gaze. Inhale, reach up. Last little bit. Exhale, hands to heart center.